Contentment. The doctrine of contentment has disappeared from the evangelical church around the world. Pastors don't teach about contentment anymore. When I was smaller, actually, when I was, yeah, some are laughing, some don't know if they should disrespect me or not. That's why I love to go to the Philippines, because I can look at people eye to eye. Yeah. I always wanted to be a missionary to the Pygmies. You know, the Pygmies is a tribe in Africa. They are this tall. And you know what made me feel so good? God told me, you know, my grace is sufficient for you. Go to America, and I have been hugging belly buttons for the last 30 years. So, when I was growing up, and I did that at one point, I was a little boy. In my church, the pastor used to preach about contentment. You know, but lately, in the last 20, 30 years, the doctrine of contentment has disappeared from the pulpit. So people are not learning it anymore. And I think this is not a scientific number, but when you travel a lot, and I have about 3 million kilometers flown around the world and taught in almost 50 countries. So when you travel a lot, you listen a lot of horror stories from everybody, right? And you start realizing about the problems that people have. So I think that about 60–65% of all financial problems people have, especially young couples today, it's related to a violation of the doctrine of contentment. When we disobey the doctrine of contentment, we get in trouble. Now, what does the doctrine of contentment says? The doctrine of contentment says that we must learn to find joy in the economic strata where God has placed us in. That's where the doctrine, what doctrine of contentment says. The doctrine of contentment says that I must find joy in the economic strata, in the economic place where God has placed me in. The problem with the consumer-oriented society, like the one that we have in the world today, not just here in Singapore, also in the Philippines, also in Argentina, in the United States, in Europe. The problem with this type of society is that it pushes us out. It makes us feel unhappy with what we have. They make you feel unhappy with your clothes. They make you feel unhappy with your car, with the transportation that you have, or you may make you feel unhappy with the housing that you have. So, God gives you enough money to buy a bicycle, but you want to buy a motorcycle, right? But you don't have the money to buy that motorcycle. So, how do you buy it when you don't have the money for it? Huh? Borrowing! Yeah! So the Filipinos know what borrowing means. Huh? I see. They're all in debt up to here. Even before you start working, you are already in debt. So, yes. And what happens, you know, back home, when